Wait a second. Are already in the money. It's like 200, 150, 50 or something like that.
Credits received.
Something like
Thank you for your monetary support.
All right. Gonna update. Here we go. In the bottom right, as the pink Protoss, it is Zest. In the top left, as the red Protoss, he is Trap, not Creator. So Zest versus Trap, the best PvP in the world coming out from Zest, and just a generally very good Protoss player from Trap, who has had occasions where I guess he's very, very, very good with PvP, but Zest is just always good. Does he always win it? No, but his win record with it is still pretty insane. And you never say... I still, even now, even if Zest's not doing so hot right now, guys, I would still say that I would never say that someone else is better PvP overall. Today, this series, maybe Trap has better PvP, but I'll always give the PvP matchup to Zest. It's just so darn impressive that not only has he, like, always been good at it, whereas almost everyone has, like, fallen out from their best matchup, it's that he's done it in a matchup that has had so many metas. The matchup that would make the most sense, that you would have days or weeks or months, you would just be like, you know what, I don't get it. I'm dying all the time. I don't get it. But Zest is like, he seems to get every single meta shift in PvP. Even when he was otherwise actually not a very good player. There was about a year where Zest was honestly just not good. Not comparable to the rest of the Korean peers, I guess. About, actually, when was that at this point? 5 years ago? Maybe after Pro League? Gosh, I don't remember. But his PvZ was atrocious. His PvT it was floundering. And his PvP was still the only thing he was really good at. Do you think there's still hope for a new war chest? Yes. I say no 2 months, 3 months ago, but I say yes now. Take that information as you will. ZB, who's currently best in the world. I don't know who ZB is, so if I see them, I'll ask. This guy's gonna be so angry at me. I'm not gonna respond at all to his question because he didn't put a G. What's happening in this PvP? Adepts come forward, adepts get blocked out. It's the way of the world. War Prism's on the way. So we had Trap go for Robo, Zest goes for his own Robo. I was gonna say, like, hold on. Like, you should have something. That was actually really late. He had 200 gas and like 400 minerals. Basically, he was an entire Robo behind, it felt like. So I don't know if he was hoping for more scouting to be done, or he really did just mess up his build right here. It might not matter as the game goes on. You know, if this was a proxy Robo and he's about to be pushed, I'd say it super matters, but might not matter as the game goes on. But he is going for his own Robo, very stock standard macro play, even though Blink has come back and Stargate openers still exist and all that stuff. Zest has not been playing well recently, but to be fair, the matchups he didn't do well in were not PvP. Warp Prism was pumped out from Trap, tries to go for some harassment, instantly finds Stalkers, and has to instantly disengage. Zest is, like, hungry for this Warp Prism. He's like, I got it. I got it. I get this. I got it. Magically, my Stalkers will run faster. Magically. Magically. I don't actually know why he's chasing this so much. This seems fruitless. But maybe he's caught this Warp Prism somehow, some way. Well, that ended up being fruitless, but it didn't matter either, so all is fair. Whatever you want to do, Zest. There's something else happening. They both were scouting each other, hallucinating Phoenix for trap. Zest still has his depths shading through. He knew the army wasn't coming across the map, so he tried to chase the War Prism. Alright. Hallucinated Phoenix sees a Robo and then 2 gateways. No Forge coming down for either player, but Twilight Council's coming down for trap. Zest, if he chronos out a War Prism, no, it's another Immortal. I would have expected him to also throw down either a Forge or a Twilight Council. More so a Forge. I expect him to throw down a Forge, go into macro, get Templar Archives. With the Twilight Council coming down before a Forge, and, you know, in place of a Forge, honestly. Resident Glaives from Trap makes a lot of sense, but... Oh, okay. So he's gonna go into Robotics Bay. What is the scouting here from Zest when it comes to the actual... Oh! He got the War Prism. He got the War Prism. He will lose some Stalkers for it, but he takes out the pressure of the War Prism, and he trades an Immortal for a handful of Stalkers. So, pretty nice there for Zest. Trap did, oopsie. So anyways, I was going to ask, what is his scouting? Okay, so he saw the Twilight Council, he saw a 3rd gas, no 4th gas. Yet... Okay. That might have just been enough information for him to say, okay, it's going to be Resident Glaives, and his response to Resident Glaives is not trying to skyrocket up to Archons and Shield Batteries, but rather to go into a Disruptor. And that can definitely be good. You know, Adepts are clumping. They're going to clump on the path to the Natural, and they're going to clump in their shades trying to get into the main base or the Natural. Yeah, but, you know, even as clumpy as a Protoss army generally is, Disruptors have that chance to not actually hit. So it's a little bit scary. But Trap, he does not finish Resident Glaives. So he had already started Templar Archives, and then I think he got a scout. I think he was already thinking this wouldn't work, that it was already scouted, so he was like, let's not do this. I think he didn't do it because he was scouted, because he didn't actually get scouting on the Robotics Bay from Zest. What he scouted was all 4 gases taken and a couple of gateways, which usually means, like, it can mean totally normal play. Like, there could have been a Templar Archives and a Forge put down in the main that he didn't see. Now he gets a better idea. He sees how many Adepts are being warped in there. Sees how big the army is. Still sees no 3rd in just a second here. So he knows there is an attack on the way, but I don't think he saw the Disruptor. It's in the War Prism. PvP is so tricky. Jesus. Okay. You know, if it wasn't 8 a.m., I would have screamed at that, but, the only response I have now is, duh. That Disruptor is pretty important, gotta say. Now, Zest still has 3 Immortals and almost targets down Trap's War Prism, which would be pretty nice, but this was supposed to go so much better. That Disruptor is supposed to, at the very least, start things off with a split from the army of Trap, and instead it dies doing absolutely nothing, and Zest is gonna tap out. I mean, he was probably expecting Adepts, more Adepts to easily catch or not be caught by, because Adepts can't shoot up. And he probably wasn't expecting the army to be there, as aggressive as it was, which was good on Trap. But Trap had done the, I'm doing this thing, or actually, JK, I'm not doing that thing, I'm actually macroing. And while maybe in a different world where that Disruptor doesn't die immediately, that could have been a bad thing. That could have been him wasting minerals on a Nexus and not building up a big enough army. In that game, it was actually super, super right call. Super good. Super cool to kill a War Prism like that. I don't know what would be in the war chest. Usually war chest is it's co-op skins. Whatever co-op skin isn't already in the game, that's probably what the new war chest would be. Oh, best of 5. All right, so Trap with taking game number 1. looks pretty good against the person I still expect to win the series, but like, okay, Trap, I guess you won that one. In the bottom left, up 1 on Zen, it is Trap. In the top right, as the pink Protoss, it is Zest. Kind of a lame ending to what could have been a much better push. Could have been a Disruptor surprise, where Trap didn't have any idea it was on the way, and he's all types of bulked up in the natural, preparing to defend against a Protoss. Typically that push, any push from a Protoss, you hole up in your natural, you get protected by your shield batteries, you think I'm good to go, and then a Disruptor pops off and you're all clumped up, and shield batteries can't heal something that's instantaneous. So that could have been really, really good for Zest. Or it could have just been good for Zest. He could have tried containing Trap, constantly threatening with the army on the front door, and Disruptor shooting up Purification Novas, forcing them to either cancel the Nexus, the third Nexus, or just straight up lose it. Instead, Zest runs headfirst into the army, and what do you do about that? You just tap out and say, okay, that was dumb, that was a bit silly, let's move on. There was also all the mental games and gymnastics that was happening of the whole, I knew that you were doing it, and you saw that I was doing it, and I knew what you were doing, but I didn't know what exactly, so I did this thing, and then you did that thing in response, so I did this thing instead, and I'm sure that threw Zest off as well. Any attempt at Knott's second pylon in the main base, I think, has already been thwarted. Both probes found each other in the top left, funnily enough, and now they're just getting a good old-fashioned scout. So both pylons in the main. Adept to Adepts. We'll see if the probe's hanging around long enough to see that pop out. That is literally what we're waiting for. Pylon from Trap, just literally to see the Adepts. That's what it's there for. Sees it. And this probe sees the Adepts, probably at the cost of its life. Goodbye, probe. Whereas Trap's probe, survive! They both are gonna go for Stargates. Lol. Zest is faster, which typically when you have the same structure and it's faster, we say, hey, that's good. But in this case, faster might mean he makes an Oracle before any scouting is done. And Trap might get some scouting just beforehand. I say that, no one's getting anywhere close to each other's base, so that's actually not going to happen. They both should be making Oracles. If Trap builds a Phoenix, he's big brain and a little bit lucky. These Adept Wars, by the way, are just so silly. Adept Shades do block other Adept Shades, which has happened a couple of times here. Shade forward to get that one Adept, but it's still less Adepts for Zest overall, so he will be losing this war. It is Oracle to Oracle. It's going to actually reveal itself, though, and that's not preferable. Immediately, Trap exchanges his Oracle for a Phoenix and builds a shield battery. And now, I mean, that is worth losing the Adept, which has already done its job anyways. It had already been its trade. It was 4 for 4. But with those 4 Adepts, Trap now knows what Zest is doing. Now, Zest might know that it's possible that Trap has a Stargate, considering that they both opened up very similar with their gateway units. It's likely, even, that they both have Stargates. So while the Oracle first happened, you can still make them work, even if you do have in the back of your mind, okay, they might have Phoenix. You can still make them work by waiting for the second Oracle and then just putting them off somewhere to the side. Again, waiting and just getting an odd timing here. And that's exactly what Zest does. Pairing them up as well. Not going to have to worry about the shield battery. Phoenix do not find the Oracle flying through. And the recall can even happen. They did their damage. They killed 7 probes, and they can recall out to not die from the Phoenix. Stargate to Stargate, such a funny thing. Scouting the Oracle to get a Phoenix should have been Trap's take it into a lead. Instead, he still misses the Oracle and now has Phoenix that probably can't do the same return damage, and he's down 17 probes. 17 probes. That's not even all from the Oracles. He's already just down probes and he lost more. Zest has been pumping probes this entire time, whereas Trap, I guess, was taking a couple of hits here and there to his economy. Also, just was more focused on creating an attack. He's got a pylon set up here, but it is a slow warp in. So he's gonna ask now, Zest, can you defend with your oracles? How are they gonna help you defend against an army? No, they can't, especially since they're not on this side of the map, so he's going to pull the probes instead. Probes for probes, because the Oracle's trying to kill the economy. He's got still like 20 more probes to pull before it gets desperate. And that is that. Zest doesn't need his Oracles back at home. He has bodyguards, probe bodyguards. Also, his armor supply really wasn't that different. And the Phoenix didn't even get the help from Trap. They went to the main and did nothing. So he taps out. Fun stuff. PvP's fun. One, two, one. Wardy's starting that debate on Twitter. I gotta get on it, man. Game number 3, Everdream. In the bottom left, as the red Protoss, he is Trap. In the top right, as the pink Protoss, it is Zest. I wish I had paid more attention to why Trap was so far down in probes, even before the Oracles. I am just assuming that he had skipped probe rounds, later Nexus, but still, to be down that many. He's already down 7, and then 7 more get added, right, is roughly what happened. Yeah, the Nexus was a lot later than I thought it was, where he just, was stopping rounds of probes to fit in a shield battery, to fit in all the Phoenix that he built that ended up helping, I don't know. But Zest at the end looked like it was an easy peasy thing. Like, how did you even get so far behind? I'm going to utterly crush you. Some serious revenge for the first game, where one brutal mistake from Zest ended with Trap saying, wow, that was so easy. I'm going to crush you. PvP. Some people call it a coin flip. Maybe it is. I don't know. It is certainly mind gaming. I mean, as much as I can explain PvP, which is, not going to be as much as like the actual pros players themselves, the pros here, I am incredibly benefited from being able to look at the damn production tab. Imagine being in their shoes with limited knowledge for all of the potentials that can happen in a PvP, all the builds and styles and all-ins that we know, and the proxies. Every path of technology or aggression is available in PvP, where usually we talk about a lot more like, oh, you can't really do this thing in that matchup. No, you can make anything work. Fake pylon, just to get it out there. Trap is scouting for it, but is missing it. He's really scouting for it, too. He sent out 2 probes to scout. One didn't even go into the main base. They just looked around the closest area for proxy Stargate, or sometimes Robo. This one, looking in the farthest area, did actually finally find the pylon, and it has nothing on it, so that was just before he was going to slap down a Nexus. He was definitely planning on slapping down a Nexus, but maybe if he had seen a Robo, he might have changed that. Maybe no Nexus, but also maybe no 2 sentries type thing. But seeing it and nothing to worry about, sentries, Nexus, macro. Shield battery does come down. I guess just out of safety, because he never got a scout into the main of Zest. For all he knows, Zest is doing the exact same thing, and he just wasted a shield battery. Constantly double checking. But yeah, he has not seen anything. Robo comes down for Trap. Zest is being aggressive. Like, I'm double checking because Trap is absolutely right to throw on a shield battery. And I guess when it comes to PvP, it's better to be cautious of those one base builds than it is to assume your opponent's also going for a Nexus. Although it happens. It happened in the series already. Both went for a Nexus. Zest is really dedicating. It is a 3-gate build. No Robo, so maybe you could throw on a Nexus. You would just be behind in technology at that point. And economy. He's got to do something with this push, and it's already starting off pretty well. A little late to the force fields. Our Stalker's already jumped on top of. And he didn't know for a fact until just now, the Scout and the Stalker's moving in, that it was dedicated pressure. So no second shield battery. One's already depleted. Force fields have already been used. Sentry not going to survive for very much longer. Proxy does come down. Did he scout the proxy? No. Yeah. That is such an aggressive proxy. Oh my god. Even though it's slow, it is so close. 3 more Stalkers really helping out here. And Immortal's about to pop out, but Zest has 3 more Stalkers about to reinforce. He threw down a Twilight Council, but didn't actually end up using it. Maybe that was just for the Lucine Phoenix to see, to give Trap the impression he could not do this push. He might actually try and just pressure, not all in, but he is still all inning. He is still trying to actually win this game, and he's going to grab the Immortal after popping its shield, or is he? No high ground. The Sentry forced at the last second, saving that Immortal's life. Guaranteed. That was damn close. That second shield battery finished and helped out as well. 3rd shield battery in total now coming down on the high ground. Zest, he really got his soccer count depleted to chase after that Immortal. Now a second Immortal's out. I think Zest might be screwed here. He's going to add on a 4th gateway, but what is that Twilight Council going to be for? I was trying to proxy a gateway. It's not going to work out, though. He's going to go into Resonant Glaives, which I think definitely makes the most sense. Going into DTs when behind Dark Shrine doesn't really work out when your opponent clearly has a Robo and is playing defensive. So he's going to start warping in those Adepts. No chance at a Warp Prism, though. No Robo for him. So he's going to have to put on another Proxy Pylon. So still nothing but slow warp-ins. I'm pretty sure Trap has this game, but oof, that was close. That high ground advantage, man. That was pretty sick. I think Stalkers are kind of looking for a Warp Prism. They'd be very aggressive, very overconfident for Trap to send out a Warp Prism with anything in it. 2 Immortals, 4 Adepts, like... Ooh, or looking to do this. Trap was looking to get the advantage of the high ground and the ramp, and Zest might have predicted that and went in for a big ol' surround on whatever army was trying to take advantage. It could have been the Immortals, it could have been the Warp Prism, could have been the Stalkers. It was the Stalkers in this case. Speaking of the Warp Prism, being awfully bold here, trying to use that aggressively. Adept on top of the Sentries, take out any force fields. The Immortal Shield's going to be popped. It's already popped, actually. That's the 2nd pop. Adepts do not die very quickly to the Immortals, so Trap's going to have to try and focus fire the Stalkers. If he can. No probe actually here to help out. The Adepts jump on top of the Stalkers. Shield Battery 1 is completely depleted. Shield Battery 2 still working out, though, and a 3rd Immortal comes forward. Warp Prism still available for Micro. I still think Trap has this, but Zest, with the follow-up of Adepts, is really trying to make this work. It's just not going to work. He's actually giving so much time to Trap by reinforcing right now that the 2 other shield batteries are going to be up and running. These 2 shield batteries will have energy again. And this time there is a wall in the main base. So no killing 20 probes and trying to equalize this game. Sorry, Zest. This is an unbeatable setup, I'm pretty sure. It is a lot of Adepts. Mortal picked up pretty quickly. Microed back. We're at 4 Immortals. This one's not even helping. This one's lazy. The Adepts are not going down too quickly, but they are not killing anything too quickly either. The Immortals will live forever. Not a lot of micro that Zest can do in return with his own Warp Prism. GG. Trap holds. But just barely. That 1 Immortal goes down. It's a snowball effect, for sure. And instead it survived thanks to that Sentry Warp in. Hopefully I don't forget to lobby link. There we go. Potentially last game. Trap is ahead 2-1. These guys pretty often face each other, it feels like, in the semifinals. These two are some of the biggest guns that Korea has to provide that actually play in a ton of online cups. We have a severe drought of Korean Terrans when it comes to the Open Cups. Although we see them in some of the other tournaments that are online. Which is too bad, you know, for my sake. But we have a lot of Protoss players that are, I mean, literally, like, these are the top 3 Protoss players, right? Since Classic's not here anymore. Well, Parting also is really in contention for top 3 at this point. But anyways, we have Stats, Trap, and Zest. All in the online tournament. The Protoss players show up for these online Open Cups. Where are the Terran players, man? In the bottom right of Simulacrum, it is Trap. On the top left, we have Zest, who almost made that 3-gate work. The Adept follow-up was the only thing to do, but that was certainly less convincing. It was really just the 3-gate that almost worked. But not going to do it again. Trap was pretty darn good about scouting last game. 2 probes scouting did eventually find the proxy pylon. I can see how that could be almost like a false scout, though. You see no proxy pylon, you think, oh, I'm not being attacked. You get a little overconfident and forgot that you didn't scout their main base and they're actually 3-gating you. But Zest, either Trap didn't get overconfident. He built a shield battery immediately. And was like, okay, this could still be a problem. And he was right. There was a proxy pylon right outside of his door. And there was a 3-gate that he had not scouted. Both players proxying pylons, not using them? Nah, Trap's going to use his. Zest put it very close to home and then immediately went to actually scout the main base, but this is going to be a robo from Trap. Oh no. Is this the first proxy robo of the series? Yes, right? Yeah, it was Stats who was proxying robos in the last series. Okay, so does Zest scout this? He sees the lack of second pylon. He's going to wall off to see what pops out of these gateways. Going to be Adepts first into Stalkers. But he doesn't really have anything scouting for the pylon. But it looks like maybe one of those things where it doesn't matter so much because he's not going to grab a Nexus anyways. He's going to grab a Stargates, which I'm not sure what he's thinking. He could be thinking back to the Stargate game earlier, the one he ended up winning very, very easily. Seeing double adepts, like, could have been a sign. In this case, it was double adepts to double stalker, though, but he didn't get to see the stalkers. And you could think Stargate for Phoenix, but Stargate also does help against the Robo, which, again, he never scouted. He's trying to kind of scout now and also get a jump on units out in the middle of the map. But it's going to be an Oracle first. So with nothing attacking him, he's going to get an Oracle and even get that Nexus. Now, that's an easy cancel when something shows up, but this is really awkward. Zest does not know what's happening. So he's not building up a Phoenix count. He's not building a Void Ray. All the money he could have if he hadn't gotten a Nexus. He's going for an Oracle. Now the Oracle, I mean, it could do something here. The shield battery eventually runs out of juice. These probes over here are not quite as protected. But it's definitely not as helpful as crowd control or straight up Void Ray, which actually is going to be his choice. Void Ray it is. The probe, unfortunately locked out, but for the greater good, my dude. Nexus canceled, and many shield batteries coming down now. One was already in the main, but now 2 on the front lines. Not going to be able to help out the Stalker as Zest tries to actually bust into the main base. Oracle is easily deflected. 3 units, not enough to really take on trapped reinforcements. And looks like Zest actually might just straight up lose this game. He's already let this attack inside of his main, and a Void Ray is only going to be able to help out so much. Shield batteries are helping now, at the very least, and there's that Void Ray. They're going to target the Warp Prism, exactly what it does. The Oracle does go down, but the Warp Prism might go down as well. Uh-oh, probe surround on top of the Stalkers as well. It's actually an excellent surround on top of many of the Adepts too, but 12 probes go down. Zest now down by 3 workers. Was that enough damage from Trap to say, you know what? Let's continue on with the game. Was it enough? Looks like not. Looks like it's not. Proxy gateway? Nope, just adding another gateway in total. Another gateway coming down. Not a second immortal. Not another warp prism in case that one died. Got another gateway. And he goes back to building probes as well. So maybe it was. Maybe it was enough. Looks like he's going to retreat. And I think they both will be slapping down Nexus eventually. Zest is going to have a bit of a tougher time doing that since he lost a few too many probes. Also, he's going to go for a second Void Ray, so that's quite expensive. Oracle unfortunately died, so lack of scouting and no chance whatsoever to kill those probes. No proxy pylons from Zest either to warp in a couple of Adepts. Shade's going to go ahead and scout. I don't think they actually saw the army. I'm not sure. Shades do not have as much vision as they once did. Well, this one will see it. Second Void Ray was a good... Are you serious? Oh, okay, does see it. I was like, how does that see it? Second Void Ray is a good call. They both build up to saturated mineral lines, but not much more than that. I was gonna say, why build a third gateway if you're gonna play economy, but... Trap was just... He was just buying time. He's just roaming. And now it's the real push. Now it's the real defense. Make or break right here. Zest, he's brought that work account up to even again. He's going to invest in another Oracle, as opposed to trying to get a Phoenix or a Void Ray, rather. Both gateways are going to go down. That's going to be it for his production. He can't even fit in one more warp before this dies. Ouch. Prismatic alignments. Probably a good call there. Stalker's getting also awfully aggressive. Revelation on the Observer. I'm not sure that was worth the Oracle, though. And the Void Rays are not going to be enough here. They're targeted down. So many Stalkers were included. They don't even grab the Warp Prism, and Trap is going to take this 3-1. GG. Trap 3-1 Zest. My predictions are wrong.